You have to understand that just 2 years ago, I was going down the most traditional path set out for many of us. I was still studying and getting my degree. I was working at an AI startup, stuck in a 9 to 5 that didn't necessarily reward me or felt fulfilling. And I thought I was doomed to graduating and not knowing what my passions were and never actualizing my full potential. But over the last 2 years, I've been able to start an SEO agency and build the dream business for me. I can proudly say that I do have the ability to work across the world and be async. I am making a tangible impact in generating millions of dollars for my clients in doing SEO and also educating people on how to start their own businesses. And in this video, I'm going to condense down 2 years of learning and knowing what I know now, how I would genuinely start online again if I had to start over. So let's get into it. So the very first thing that you want to do is start thinking about what you want and what you value. Now, no shit. I get it. We're all here to make money, duh. But I want you to just dive a level deeper into that. I'm going to share with you guys a few things that I value. And the reason why this is so important is because it's really going to set the precedence for the next step. So the first thing is I wanted to build a sustainable and scalable business, right? So for me, these three things were completely out of the box because I wanted it. So example, dropshipping, e-commerce, and Amazon FBA. I wanted to be able to travel. Logistic wise, this would have been a nightmare. And not only that, you're kind of really relying on products where they could be trendy for one time, but once you make that money and you might be able to make money, get lucky for product, market it, do really well, it does die down because the competition rises out so much. I mean, this is a clear example of what happens with Amazon FBA stores. There's a product that gets trendy, the first person comes in, sells that product, and afterwards it gets flooded with competitors. It was just not a sustainable business that I wanted to do. So the other thing is building a passive asset like blogging, right? Blogging is really great. In fact, that's how I really started, just learning the skills of blogging, which got into SEO. But the thing about passive assets like blogging, and that relies on things like traffic, getting traffic to your site, affiliate income and things like that, is that it does take time to build the asset, right? I'm not expecting results in six months to a year. I'm actually looking quite long term. And for me, I just wanted something that I could start making money predictably and now, right? Not exactly now, but over the next 30, 60 days. And when it comes to social media like YouTube, to an extent blogging and stuff like that, you are really relying on the algorithm and ads to push your content out, right? You're relying and really susceptible to the algorithm liking you or favoring you and just luck. And that element that I couldn't control was not something that was scalable or sustainable for me. And so that was also out of the picture. Now, the next thing is I wanted time and location freedom. So I wanted to be able to travel the world. I wanted to have minimal meetings, right? Because if I'm traveling the world, the time zones would be a nightmare. The rescheduling would be a nightmare. And then I didn't want a lot of staff. I wanted to keep my team small. I didn't necessarily care about going to a staff of like 10, 20, 30, hundreds of people. I wanted to keep that very minimal and very tight. And I also value comfort over mass impact. So I'm not really here to be the next Elon Musk and reinvent the wheel and work 15-hour days. I want to make enough money that's going to be able to fuel and balance the lifestyle that I want with the work that I want to do and how I want to do it, and also taking care of my family. And that was a non-negotiable for me. And last but not least, I wanted to be challenged. So I needed something that had an element of change. I don't really do well with doing tedious and manual tasks over and over again, or something that was just the same all the time. I wanted to be in a field that constantly pushed me to perform and do better. I really value growth and learning as part of my journey. And I also want my earnings to be tied with the quality of what I deliver, right? That gives me incentive to always push myself and do better, and also get handsomely rewarded. And so that was a non-negotiable for me as well. And it's okay to not get this perfect. I'm not expecting you to know everything, but I want you to keep this in mind as you go along your journey, because the more you get into things, the more this becomes relevant. And it's particularly relevant to the next point, but now it is over to you. So here are some action tasks. First, think about your life 5 years ahead. What type of life do you want to be living? What are the hours you want to work, the place you want to work, and the type of money you want to make? What are your non-negotiables? List them down. Think about the sacrifices you'll need to make, short and long term, to be able to satisfy your goals and values. So as an example, if you wanted to start a blog, understand that the payoff might not come until 6 months or a year later. You're going to have to put up a lot of upfront work for that type of money. So think about things like that. The reason why I bring this up in the first place is because if you aren't clear about what your values are and what you want, along that line of trying to make money online or starting any new endeavor, you're going to find yourself in a space where you feel stuck, or you're going to feel unfulfilled or be chasing that next thing. And I know because that was what happened to me. I jumped around a lot in the start of my journey in SEO and blogging, trying to figure out what I wanted. And so after about 8 to 9 months of starting my business was when I really got focused and clear on what I wanted. That focus allowed me to understand what's the maximum amount of clients that I was willing to take on, what were the boundaries I wanted to set between me and my clients and the people that I work with, so that I was able to live the life that I wanted. And it also allowed me to manage my team and systemize things so that I could work with people async. So these were things where once I got the clarity and the focus that I needed, I was able to make these decisions. So now the next step is to research ways to make money. There are so many ways to make money online. Like, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. And so what you want to do is do a Google search to get a clear understanding and then start eliminating based on your values. So I'm going to show an example. So if we went to how to make money online, I'm just going to go to maybe the first 2 or so resources that we've got, blogs that we've got here. So if I look at this and just scroll through this, we're just gonna have a look. So first one, find freelance work. This is a great way. I'm going to talk about this later, but that's aligning with my values. It's something where I can kind of make money now. I'm working on my own terms. I can control the amount of people that I take on, the amount of clients that I take on. So that's something where just reading that, okay, cool. Sounds like something I want to do. Start a YouTube channel. Not really. This is not something that I would start off with doing because, again, it's just going to take a lot of time. It's subjected to the algorithm changes, and ad revenue sometimes isn't really the greatest. So for that reason, I wouldn't start a YouTube channel, but I would start it later, such as in the position where I am now. But at the start, probably not what I would be doing. Start a drop shipping business, again, not really aligned with my goals. Taking online surveys. Yeah, it's great, but also how much money can you really make with online surveys? It's not really a scalable business. So you kind of get the gist. Go through a bunch of ways and explore these different ways of making money and just do your research. Once you've created that list, I want you to do even more research and see what appeals to you, your skill sets that you can leverage, and where your experience lies. So if you are naturally gravitated towards more creative things and writing and stuff, freelancing might be the better way to go. There isn't really many jobs out there that you can make money online that tests those skills, at least in a way that's direct, right? Like if you were creating a drop shipping business or Amazon FBA, it definitely uses the element of creativity and marketing and stuff like that, but it expands in a different type of way. So it just really depends on what skills that you can leverage and how you want to utilize it. So really research into these things these ways that you want to make money and see where that kind of takes you. So to bring it back to what I do, it's actually really simple, and we touched on it just before, but the fastest way to make money, even as a beginner, and you can really control how you make money in a sustainable way for the long term, is by freelancing. So I would learn a valuable skill that won't take years to be good at, or leverage a skill that I already have that I'm very good at. So for me, it's things like SEO. That's how I started out, which stands for search engine optimization. It's video editing. So I'm kind of getting into that now. I'm not going to provide services, but it is something that interests me. Web design and writing. So they're kind of the 4 things where it's a valuable skill that I'm kind of learning, but it's not really going to take me years and years to get really good at. So I would start off with freelancing on platforms like Upwork and then turn it into an agency. So now over to you. You're going to Google ways to make money. List down 5 to 10 viable options and eliminate any options that don't align with your values. So again, make sure you do step number 1 because you want to start getting a sense of what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want. Research more into what the method of making money entails. If you choose the services agency route, which I do recommend, start brainstorming what you could offer or choose a new skill to learn. And if you are interested in providing SEO services but don't know where to start, you can download the SEO service guide cheat sheet down in the description below to get a starting point. And subscribe to get notified on my upcoming SEO series where I show you step by step how to start, launch, and scale an SEO agency. And the last step to this is you're going to start now. One of the biggest regrets people have is not starting something earlier. They let fear and doubt permeate their mind and never get the courage to actually start. But if you're watching this video, then you've already taken that first step. It's not going to be perfect. You are going to fail. And if you get it right the first time, well, then you're one of the lucky few. And if you don't know how to start, well, I'm going to show you how you're going to start, which is kind of silly, but sometimes it's the hardest thing. People don't know where to start. So here's how you're going to start. So you're going to Google or YouTube how to do X, or whatever method that you've chosen of making money. Just do a Google or YouTube. And the good way to do this is just consume free resources on the topic and action. So there's going to be a ton of free resources out there, and you really should take advantage of that. There's some really great content out there. So that's the first thing. Now, the better way is find someone who has done what you've wanted to do, or they're in the position where you want to be in, and consume their content, see what they've done, and then action. So that's a better way. And the best way is to take a structured course along with a community that gives you like the A to Z blueprint and gives you the support you need, or get a one-on-one consulting call with somebody who has done it before. And yes, action. The reason why I like a course, and it's the way I've learned when I started out anyway, is because it just takes the guesswork out of a lot of things. It gives you the A to Z, doesn't miss anything, and it gets you there from the start. So that's a way I like to do it. So depending on how you want to make money online, this is going to be a good course of action to take. And now remember, take it one step at a time. Do just one thing every day. And remember that 1% is better than 0%, right? Your efforts will compound, and you're going to reach a point where you're just doing these small little things every single day and doing it consistently. And one day you might have your first client, and you might have your second client, and you might be making enough money to replace your full-time job and get out of it. All that to say that this is basically what I did when I started making online 2 years ago. You know, I look back and I think, oh, like what would I change? And apart from having more focus, and these are all, you know, things I know in hindsight, I really wouldn't change anything. I really would still leverage the things that I was passionate about, skills that I had, and then just apply it to a medium that kind of fulfilled that. And for me back then, blogging and SEO was that thing, and it still is. But now as I evolve and shift more, my passions start to shift over to video content, which is why I'm doing YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this gave you the courage, or at least a framework to just start, right? It's a very simple framework. It's nothing groundbreaking, but if it gives you that clarity and the action steps to start, then I hope that it does, and it helps you take that first step. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Good luck.